I just made something a little bit unique. You guys know what it is. It's the tier maker list. And I just did all of the template work and put all the roles in there so we can go ahead and judge my favorite to my least favorite role in Goose Goose Duck. Let's go jump over there to the tier list and let's get started. I'm going to go just left to right. I'm going to rank S tier being my favorite, my absolute favorite role, all the way to the D tier, which is something I prefer not to be if I'm playing classic. So if you don't know, this is Goose Goose Duck. If you don't know what that is, it's like Among Us, but with geese, and it has all the mods built into it. You can look at one of my other videos to get the Goose Goose Duck review. In this case, let's just jump in like you've already played at least one game so you know what you're working with. We're going to start with the bounty roll. The bounty is simple. First one killed and the killer gets a little bit of gold, all right? This is a good roll. However, it doesn't serve much purpose other than just a reward. So I would say when I get this roll, I like the fact that people get money out of it, and I'm fine with that. I'm going to put bounty as a B roll. Not exactly my preferred roll, but I don't actually have anything against it. It's almost a non-roll, but I'm still including it as a rank. Okay, the Canadian Duck is one of my favorites because it auto reports. So if I'm the Canadian Duck and somebody kills me, boom, we go right to a meeting. Now, this is a tricky one because I like to tell 2 to 3 people that I'm Canadian, but you have to be very careful that it's not a duck. Because if you tell a duck, they won't kill you, they'll save you for the end, and you never get to use your roll. Canadian Duck is one of the strongest ones in the game, bar none. And because of that, I'm actually going to rate it in S tier. If you use it properly, you're almost guaranteed to get a duck. And that's where I sit as far as Canadian goes. All right, let's move on to the third one, which is the Cannibal Duck. Cannibal Duck is absolutely one of my favorite roles. As far as the duck rolls go of killing people, this one's a little bit fun because you get to eat one body per game. So you got to choose wisely. You can't just go and chomp them all down. All right. So as far as I'm concerned, with the limitation, I want to put Cannibal Duck in the A tier. I know. You're probably like, what? He put Canadian above Cannibal Duck? Canadian is probably the low end of S tier, where Cannibal Duck is high end of the alpha or A, whatever. Anyway, I like being a Cannibal Duck, one, because I love being one of the killers. Who does not? But the fact that I can get somebody into a corner and maybe eat their body and nobody even remembers they're in the game. That's one of my favorite parts. Jumping forward to, I would say, arguably one of my 1 out of 2 top roles in the game, Dodo Bird. Dodo Bird can get it almost every single time straight into the S tier. The fact that I get to be a goofball, I get to throw them off the track, and I get to beat them all by myself, that's a win in my book. Dodo Bird easily is one of my favorite roles because your goal is you're trying to get voted off. You can't get killed, so you can't let them know so the sheriff or vigilante will come kill you. In this case, you just have to be good enough to beat the feathers off of them. All right, we're 4 down. We're getting there, right? Slowly but surely. Let's move on to the lover's role. This is one of my... I'm not sure how to feel about this role. I like it. It's very hard to do. So here's how it works. The 2 lovers, one could be a goose and the other could be a goose. One could be a goose and the other one could be a duck. Either way, they're paired. If they make it to the top 3, they win the game. They beat everybody else and the lovers take it. Lately, I've been seeing a little bit more of the lovers win. It's challenging, but if you can lie your pants off, you can get it. It's difficult. It is engaging. And I want to put it in B tier. When I get this role, I do not get excited because I know the challenge, but I also know the likelihood of getting to the top 3 in this game is very tough with a 16-person lobby. We're going to get to the end and we're going to readjust if needed. These are initially my first responses. I am giving you guys the right off the cuff view of these, which leads us to the next role, Mechanic. Mechanic is a fun role. So a mechanic can actually go into the vents, but he's a goose. He's a good guy. This leads to sometimes camping. This also leads to some really fun interactions as well. I love busting people from the vent after I see a kill. Mechanic is definitely up there as a really good role. You know what? I'm thinking, man, if I get Mechanic, I'm pretty happy. I think we're going to make a small adjustment here, though. I think as I bring Mechanic a little bit above Lovers, I feel like maybe the Bounty isn't quite a B roll. I'm going to move Bounty down to a C roll to kind of even this out a little bit. I feel like this is more in line with how I'm feeling as I'm going. All right, small adjustments aside, let's move into the medium. Now, this is a fun one because the ghosts control the medium as well as help the medium. I guess it all depends how much they like you, right? So the medium's goal is it has a little bit of a cooldown. You hit the left shift button and you can see ghosts if there are any. And if those ghosts circle around the killer, you can go and hit the button or choose however you want to manage that information. And you can tell people, hey, the ghosts are circling around pink or brown or whichever goose it is. Hopefully you get a free, get out of here. I would say the medium is probably pretty high up there. Maybe not an S tier roll, but certainly a great roll to identify all those nasty ducks. All right, let's get into the next one, which is Fling Duck. This is a very fun one because not only can you kill everybody, but you can also turn into them and then pretend that somebody else killed instead of you. How do you not like this one? As far as ducks go, this is the role to have. As far as I'm concerned, this is the strongest role in the game. You can have the most fun and create the most mayhem, which is why it's going all the way to the top. I know you're like, but you just said Dodo Bird's the one. Well, that's only if I'm a goose. And actually, there is something that beats the Dodo Bird. Maybe. We'll get to that in a second. Let's focus on Fling Duck. I have had so many wins with Fling Duck, and I have caused so much chaos by blaming it on somebody else. So it's going straight to the top. It's an S tier. It is all the way up. Okay, this is probably another serious role for the geese. It's the sheriff. The sheriff can kill anybody. However, if the sheriff kills a good person, the sheriff is dead as well. So you have to wield your weapon with caution. And this right here, I like to run around and ask people like, hey, do you have any suspicions? Who do you think it is? I will do more in some of my tips of how to win in certain roles videos. Don't worry, new series will be coming up in the future. But right now, I'm going to go off the cuff and say sheriff, as far as geese go, is above. Oh man, it is either at the back of S tier or the beginning of A tier. I'm going to bite the bullet. I may have to move the Canadian. I might be wrong on Canadian because I feel like sheriff is a little bit stronger. Let's make some adjustments real quick too. Drop in sheriff to the top of A. Canadian is going to go between medium and cannibal. See, this is the best thing about tier makers because you can adjust as you go. It's so good. All right. I think that's where I sit right now as of this second. All right. We're down to our last four. Yesterday, I did a round with some other streamers and I had some fun. I was just constantly silencing them so they couldn't talk during the rounds because that's what it does. If you go by somebody, you press left shift, you silence them so they can't talk during the next meeting. You can use this to your advantage in many ways. You can kill somebody in front of them, silence them, let them call the body, and then they get voted out. That's a great example for it. Silencer Duck is interesting. It is a killer. I don't know how strong the silence part is, but I think it's pretty decent. As far as ducks go, when I get silencer, I'm going to drop it at the top of B, which would make me think Cannibal Duck is better. I definitely agree. Cannibal's better. Canadian is probably better because of the auto report. Man, you guys can disagree in the comments below. I don't mind. This is where I sit. All right, 3 left. Down to the nitty gritty here. Here we go. Technician it is. Technician is one of my least favorite. I'll admit, because what a technician does is when a sabotage goes down, you look at the map and you have a red ring of where it was launched. I have been trying to use this role a little bit more. Last night, for example, I did get it once and I was really trying to hone in on who's around me when the sabotages went off. I didn't quite win, I guess maybe loosely because of it. But as far as geese go, this thing is just right above classic Goose without any rolls whatsoever. So in my eyes, when I get Technician, I don't get excited at all, if I'm being honest. Technician is D roll. As right now, Bounty is just above Technician, and Bounty doesn't even have a roll. So would I rather be Technician or would I rather be Bounty? I'd rather be Bounty, because the Technician just doesn't have a roll that's worth anything, in my opinion. Trust me, there's gonna be a lot of people that argue with that opinion, but that's fine. I'm good with that. I think Technician is the least interesting role to me out of all the roles. Vigilante it is. Here we are. This is a tough one because Vigilante gets one bullet. Vigilante gets one bullet. It can shoot a goose. It can shoot a duck. It can shoot anybody it wants. Doesn't matter. It won't die. One bullet per game. That's it. You can use it for good or you can use it for evil. Which one do you wield? For me, I usually try to get the first shot out in the first round or two and just get it over with. Just get it done. I would say Vigilante for me is a C roll. I don't really get excited. I would rather be a lover because I could win. I mean, I could also win with Vigilante, but it's not quite the same. I think Vigilante is a C roll to me. I think so. I think so. All right, we're going to keep it there. They say sometimes you save the best for last. Vulture. Vulture is easily my favorite role. I don't have to do tasks. I can do the things I do with Dodo. And all I got to do is eat bodies. Now, if you have a full 16 out of 16 lobby, you have to eat 5 bodies. The amount of bodies that you have to eat is directly affected by how many people are playing. So at most it's 5, but it could be 4, it could be 3. Either way, you just run around looking for a little blue arrow, and that blue arrow will tell you where the carcass is. All you got to do is eat it, win it, and beat the feathers off of them. That's easy. Easy game. Vulture is my favorite role in this game. It is by far my S tier. That's it. That's right. It is my S tier. Let's do a quick review and just kind of see if I racked and stacked accordingly. Okay, so just a quick review. I would say the way I have this stacked is my excitement level for when I get my role assigned to me when I start the round. Vulture, absolutely out of my mind. Fling Duck, Dodo Bird, those 3 are S tier. A tier, I feel like is correct. The only one I feel like that might be living a little bit too high for its britches is probably Canadian, but I still think it's a really important role and one that I love. I feel comfortable here. I actually think I may have ranked this correctly. Oh my God, my first time. Listen, you can argue with me in the comments. You can put your favorite tier list. Hell, you can make your own. I literally created this template. It didn't exist before. I made all the images. I made the template. Go make your own, upload it, and let me know about it. That is my tier list for Goose Goose Duck rolls in classic mode. All you got to do is go and make your own if you disagree, or let me know in the comments. And I would like to visit this again in maybe like 2 or 3 months and see if I still feel the same way. What do you guys think? We'll do a few of these videos this year and we'll see how the game progresses. Maybe we'll add more roles. Maybe we'll, I don't know. We'll see where this takes us. If you made it this far, I hope that you're thinking about subscribing to the channel, dropping a like, maybe even talking to me in the comments. Who knows? Get a little crazy. Do all 3. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.